Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon one pickups.
Hey there, it's Todd Novak from, the Guitar Knobs. Ta-da, you're here. We are so happy that you are listening to our little show,
That's right.
the Guitar Knobs podcast. What do we do on this podcast, Tony?
We like to talk to people about boutiques.
Stuff.
And stuff?
Boutiques.
That's good. What do we, Jared, help
We have
help them out.
one-on-ones too, and we talk about things that you may wonder about all the time, like, what pickup should I use, and what's a humbucker, what's a single
But
coil.
getting back to what I was saying, we talk to boutique builders of guitars and amps and pedals and
Pickards,
and pickups.
All
and
the things.
tuners.
So there is a very good chance that we have somebody special on the line. Who is this?
My name is Grant Wilson. I own a company with my fiance called Big Ear Pedals, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well done. Well done without even a prompt. I like that.
That's right.
Most of the people forget that they're on and they're like, oh, yeah, right. Sorry, that's me. Yes, as you heard, we've got Grant Wilson from Big Ear Pedals, formerly Big Ear New York.
Big Ear NYC, yeah.
NYC. But now they're just Big Ear Pedals, and they're down in the heart of all of the musicness down in Nashville. So we're going to get all into that business a little bit later. We're very grateful that Grant has joined us tonight. He's got a little bit of a sore throat, so he's going to motor through it. We got a couple of announcements, and usually I just kind of breeze through the announcements, but man, they've really been piling up. So I want to call them out.
Please tell us.
Announce them.
Tell us now.
Enunciate them.
Here I go. So recently, a lot of people have gotten the notice from Spotify saying, oh, what was my go-to podcast in 2018? And we've had several people tag us in it and everything. And two of the first ones that I got back were Corey Nigro and Rare Buzz Effects. And they both named us as the go-to podcast. And we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Truly, we really do.
Thank you.
And if you haven't been listening on Spotify and you do use Spotify, then hey, make it a twofer. And go listen to us on Spotify. Also, one of our avid listeners and commenters, David Kaminga, he asked us about a speaker episode that we have referred to many times. Like Jared just mentioned, we've got a 101 series that we do where we just go dive into a subject, and it's called the 101. And we did a speakers 101 with warehouse guitar speakers. And this was episode number 58.
Wow.
And he's like, hey, where is that? And I said, you know where that is, buddy? Tony, where is it?
It's at theguitarknobs.com.
That's right. And you can get all of our episodes, although I would stay away from the early ones. They're just, they're okay.
David Kaminga is a very nice gentleman. He wished me a happy birthday.
Wow, check that out.
I mean, he's a very
active.
He's very active.
Hello,
Sounds
David.
thoughtful.
Very good
David.
dude.
Hello, David. Also, another really active listener and an early one. He's been an early supporter of us. Alexander Hobson sent us an email, and I have flipped because, just as I mentioned, we really like doing the 101 series, but we want to make sure that they're done right. And we haven't done one in a little while. We've tried to set a couple up. We do have some coming up, but he sent us an email that Tony said in big, bold letters.
A capital idea. That's
Capital idea.
Capital idea.
In fact, it wasn't a capital idea. It was like 3 or 4 capital ideas. So
Yes.
Thanks so much, Alexander Hobson, for your support and for giving us some awesome ideas.
You're
which
the man.
I'm stunned that we didn't even think of this ourselves, but whatever.
We're easily stunned.
We are easily stunned. Also, I got a really great email from Oscar Roth. I'm assuming that's how you say his name, in Belgium, who wanted to find out. He just wanted to know, like, hey, are there any, who are the pedal builders here in Belgium? And do other people know of them? And so he did a little bit of research, and he sent me one called Mammoth Machine. And I checked it out, and I was like, ooh, those look cool. They look really cool. I haven't dug into them quite yet, but I'm very interested. And I just love the fact that he reached out and said, hey, I'm in Belgium. I'm a guitar player in Belgium that listens to your show, and I really like it. I've listened to it a long time. And here is a local pedal builder that you probably don't know of. And I didn't, but now I do.
I prefer Belgian beers.
Yes, I like Belgian waffles. I'm part Belgian.
Are you really?
I am. So that was kind of neat.
Which part?
My thumb.
Okay.
Good enough.
So anyways, those are some great announcements.
Those are great announcements.
I will only make one more announcement at the end of this podcast or the next time you click to listen to one of our podcasts. If you could just take one single moment and give us a good rating on whatever platform you're listening to, I would greatly appreciate it.
We would greatly appreciate it.
Tony would greatly appreciate it. And Jared would greatly appreciate it.
Definitely.
So anyways, let's get on with what's going on in our music world this week. Let's go over to Grant first, since he's been just sitting there.
Oh, man, in my music world, oddly, the other day I was reminded through kind of a sad way to be reminded of something of the actual, I saw the news and they brought up that it was 6-year anniversary of the Sandy Hook thing, but that reminded me of a song that I wrote many years ago, 6 years ago, I guess, and that I had recorded. And while I was working the other night, I pulled it up from the email from my friend that had mixed it, and I never did anything with it. I never released it. And I listened to it again after all these years, and I was like, I actually kind of feel okay about this now.
Really?
After taking, it was just an emotional thing. And it wasn't, I wrote it after that, but it wasn't about that necessarily. It was just about a lot of things that were happening all at that moment in my life. And so I just never, as is usual for me when I write music, I don't feel, it's like the same thing as like a diary sometimes. I don't want people to read my diary. If I don't have a diary, but if I did, I wouldn't want people to read it. And I don't want people in my wallet. I don't want people reading my mail. I don't want people, it's just like a thing.
I think a lot of players out there probably have sort of a hidden stash of like, hey, this is a pretty emotional song or something that you want to, use music to express yourself. Whether that's just lyrics or music.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Good.
But so, and the funny thing is about it, the song is actually called, I didn't have a pedal called the Woodcutter yet because I didn't even have a guitar pedal company yet. But the song is called the Woodcutter.
Really?
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. And later I named the song after the guitar pedal that I was using, which was made by the Woodcutter, which was the Proco Rat. But that particular one was assembled by a guy named Woodcutter, which is where that whole legend came from.
Gotcha.
But then I named our pedal after that guy, essentially,
Right.
and which I had named the song after. So it's just funny if I do release this song, if I do put it out, it'll just be funny. People will think I named the song after my guitar pedal, and actually, it's like the song way predates that.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah.
Well, now you're probably going to get a lot of people requesting to hear that song in some capacity. And you can probably sell it for like $1 million. That's brilliant. Well, you did this on purpose. I see what you've done.
He's very tricky.
Because all kinds of musicians are making millions of dollars these days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody is. Tony Baloney, what's up, buddy?
Oh, man. I tell you what. I've got much to share, but the one thing...
That was so radio. Oh, man, I tell you what.
Let's go back to the swinging 60s.
Yeah.
No, anyhow. So we've got a show up in Youngstown coming up. And
this is your annual Christmas
This is our
show.
annual Christmas show. All us old farts get together and make noise and
right
at a club that we used to play at. So
what is this club?
The Cedars.
Cedars.
You know the Cedars?
Oh man, Billy is my guy.
That is crazy.
Billy and Mar and
that you actually
Chris
know that.
And I love this. I love them, man.
So
they treat us. I was in a band and I've been in like 42 states. I've been everywhere. I've played everywhere. Though that club, that town, and those people are some of the best memories I've ever had. They treat bands so well. Our first time there, the cool thing is people just always just want to come out because they just love music there, and that's really cool. But
that's because there's nothing else to do in Youngstown.
I get
Once
it.
you played there, you can go back there after 40 years like Tony is.
But
not quite 40.
I'm from a small town in Pennsylvania. I understand that, but they the first time there, we didn't have, maybe there was like 20, 30 people there.
Yeah.
And it was like a weird rainy night or something, or snowing. I don't remember, but like, it wasn't that good of a night. And they were like, dude, this was amazing. We love it. We're totally going to have you guys back. And then eventually we were able to grow a following there as well.
Cool.
And we were a young band at that time, but
So let me ask you: did you play at the old downtown one or the one on the west side? Okay,
Yeah.
So that one is now closed.
Yeah, I know.
And the new one,
I've been to the new one. I haven't played it. I haven't been in a band since.
it is truly a small world when it comes to musicians, but
It is, man. When you tour, especially you know those people that do that in every single town. They're all like our friends. So.
yeah. And if you've been treated well, or if you've been treated poorly,
You remember that.
you remember both of those. I guess the story that I want to tell is restringing a Rickenbacker 12 string.
Uh-huh.
I haven't done one for a while, and I forgot how much fun that can be. And but surprisingly, I did remember all of the little tricks that I've learned. I think the very first time that I tried to restring a Rick 12 is I took the truss rod cover off and I was making adjustments with all the strings on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized I couldn't put the truss rod cover back on without cutting the strings off.
Boy.
So the tricks out there, if you do happen to have a Rickenbacker 12 string, is make all of your adjustments first, put the truss rod cover back on, and then you string the octave strings first, and then the standard strings last.
Okay.
So there you go. There's my tips for restringing a Rickenbacker.
12-string Rickenbacker.
And it still only takes you about an hour and a half to do.
That's all right.
So that's what's going on in my music world this week.
Excellent. Jared.
Well, let's see. Let's spin the wheel of projects that I'm working on. Thank you, Tony. And it lands on the...
Sound like a wet fart.
Yeah, it could have been.
Epiphone.
Epiphone.
I usually buy higher quality guitars because I just enjoy...
Because you're a classy guy.
I just enjoy them. You know, I am a very fortunate person, but I have a project going on. I want to see if...
Like a trust fund or something? What is that?
No.
Yes. Yes,
anyways, go
heavens.
Ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not going
man.
to tell you how I get to my money. Anyway, no. I bought an Epiphone Wildcat. They're very inexpensive, but you know, they're not the best guitar in the world, but
They're cool.
it plays good.
It's a different guitar. If you don't want a Strat or a Tele or a Les Paul or...
I didn't buy it to play it every day. What I bought it for is I want to sell a mini humbucker, except for it's not a humbucker. I want to sell the old Epiphone New York pickups.
What did we say that those were called originally?
Tone Spectrum
pickups.
Something like that.
Well.
And they look like a mini humbucker, but they're not. They're just one giant single coil. And there's an enormous bar magnet that goes into that pickup, and there's windings around the magnet.
We will see.
So,
and what did we do today, Jared?
So I brought the guitar over because I got it in the mail, and I had Zach gut the thing out, all the electronics or whatnot. Brought it to Tony's shop, and he made me some really cool pickup rings for it.
Well, they're adapters because they come with the Wildcats come with dog ear P90s.
Yeah, and they're the I think they're chrome. They're big chrome metal covers.
Yeah, big metal covers.
Yeah.
So what we did is we made a plate that was the shape on the outside of a dog ear,
and down to
and then we cut the inside.
It's like a 1/4 inch thick.
Yeah, we used this cool 1/4 inch brown marble tortoise plastic it's going to look really cool.
Yeah, it won't look goofy like a big surround with a tiny little pickup poking out. It actually looks pretty good.
It's substantial.
Interesting.
Yes, it is. So,
I have a project that I will talk to you about after. I won't pollute this show with it.
The main purpose of the guitar is to test drive these pickups that I'm going to be making. Cool. I don't expect a ton of people buying them, which would be nice, but the people that want that old unique sound without having to pay $400 or $500 for a pickup.
Yeah, knuckleheads like me.
That's right.
Sounds cool, man.
How about you, Todd? What's going on in your musicale?
I don't know why, but I just got a weird bug this week. And I make no bones about it. I'm a huge fan of the early Britpop stuff, and I was playing I was just playing a lot of the Verve on acoustic. And it was just great. So I was just sitting around. We got a lot of Christmassy stuff happen, that was happening. And I was just sitting around playing, like just playing Lucky Man by yourself with an acoustic guitar.
I have that album on vinyl.
It
Love
is
that
one
vinyl.
of the absolute greats.
Yeah, it is.
So that's what I did. Broke
Nice.
out the old, I didn't break it out. It's sitting there hanging in front of my face. So I see it
Right.
all the time. It was kind of like going, hey, buddy, come on.
It's that Epiphone you got, right?
Give me some action there, bruh.
that
what?
Epiphone guitar?
No, I was doing the Art and Lutherie, this one.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
But that Epiphone you have does sound quite nice.
It is an Epiphone EL double lot. Yes, that is a great guitar.
Sounds like heaven.
Yes, it do. Yes, it do. You know what else sounds like heaven?
1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor.
All right, Grant from Big Ear Pedals. Tell us your 4 on the floor, bud.
Okay. I love, and I don't put it at the end, the Hardwire RV7, which is like a reverb that like Digitech made Hardwire. I'm not sure if all of them, the reverb they use, they're like licensed sounds from Lexicon. So it's all these really great classic reverb sounds. And the one is this reverse reverb.
Is the pedal called Hardwire?
Hardwire is the company. Yeah. It was
okay. So it's like a licensed product kind of thing.
it looks like it was made by Digitech. It was like their like more high end, which is,
okay.
and they came with like this like tone lock thing, which was like, but no, I didn't mean to say Digitech didn't think out their pedals. I mean, obviously the Hardwire, I believe that's what they were going with, was like this more luxurious thing, and comes with a special rubber thing that keeps your settings intact on those metal things that I'm not going to say.
Gotcha.
So that pedal is amazing. The reverse reverb sound is, I actually put it early in the chain.
Reverse reverb. I like that. That's cool.
And I use it like to create these pads, but like an instrument, I use them early in the chain. So I use it early in the chain so I can put effects on it, and I can put like fuzz on it and make it sound crazy. But it's like a wave. It crashes. The reverb crashes in like a wave, and so I'll play like really fast picking, and it just turns into this wall, this like swelling like wave crashing thing, and then I'll distort that and put various pitch effects on it and do all
Wow,
kinds
that
of
sounds
stuff.
cool.
Yeah. So then the pitch effects I use, it's been all kinds of things over the years, but one thing I always go back to is the Boss PS5.
Mm-hmm. So this is your number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never use like 4 pedals, so it wouldn't be exactly but these are my favorite 4.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
There's going to be other ones in and around them, but the Boss PS5, because you can,
that's the pitch shifter, right?
yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
I'll be literally. Okay, sorry. It was like right behind me, but so I generally only use it in octaves, and then I'll just change the speed. So and it's also non-latching usually, so I can just step on it and go up an octave either instantly or really slow, or down an octave really slow. So you might be playing something and just like hit like a ding.
So it's not, yeah. Okay. So non-latching, for those who aren't familiar with that term, if you step on a pedal, it goes, it's either on or it's off.
No.
Non-latching
is a momentary
Yep.
With potential swell. So a lot of newer pedal builders make them with a swell.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like a
Yep.
ramp up.
Yep, like a ramp.
Like
Exactly.
Mikey with
He does that.
yeah.
So that's really fun because you can get like kind of like
That's
just
really cool.
just by tapping the switch, like da, 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 and it goes up the octave every time, or down an octave, and you get some weird stuttery things. But I'm actually always going back and forth between the two, and so I just decided the other day I need to get a second PS5 in my life, so I can have one set to always octave up and one set to always octave down, and jump back and forth between the two, and I don't know, start a dubstep band or something. But
Maybe perhaps
I
they
need-
should make a PS6 that has those 2 buttons
Ooh.
all in one.
Okay, what do you have for number 3?
3, I gotta have a Proco Rat or some sort of Rat variant pedal, but I love distortion and I love the Proco Rat.
Do you have a specific model of the Proco? So early, like super vintage, or the flat box, or
my favorite that I have and that I've ever played. And everybody's like, oh, 85. I haven't. My favorite that I have and literally that I've ever played, not just that I have in my collection, but is an 88, which is the first year of the Rat 2.
Okay.
I don't know. It just sounds really, really good. So I like that one.
That's perfect.
That particular one. But if I didn't,
is that the angled box with a dumb nut on the bottom?
No, it's still like in a square box, and you can usually tell the difference generally between just like looking at a picture. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things. If you're only looking at the face of it, usually the foot switch nut on like a good one that you might want is just like a round dress nut, like they have on a Klon. Like it's not
a notched one.
Yeah, it's like a notched, like a round dress nut, as opposed to like a standard nut that would be on, any other foot.
Gotcha.
So that's what they have on the new ones. And so just like I used to go on the Guitar Center used site and just search Proco Rats and buy every single one. I'd call them and ask and be like, hey, is the top of it angled or is it flat? And because I would assume it was a vintage one. And I mean, I used to flip them in New York, and I wish I would have kept every single one, but I probably bought and sold like at least 30 from Guitar Center that they didn't, that they had listed. Yeah. Well, I stopped doing it, but I started a pedal company and got busy with that. But if I was still doing it, I could have found hundreds more. They never know. They're just, maybe it's some kid fresh out of school that has not a lot of experience with all these, vintage effects. Maybe he's 18 years old. Maybe she's 18 years old. And they don't know. It says Proco Rat on it. They assume it's a Proco Rat that we sell those here for $69. So this is a used one. So it's worth we'll give you $30 for it, kid.
Oh, nice.
And then they sell it for, $50, $60. And then I buy it super excited.
That actually reminds me, really quick interlude. We just had Roman from Schnobeltone on, and he just posted a video where he took his legitimate vintage Klon.
I saw that.
And he took it in to a pawn shop. And this woman said, I don't know if it works, I'll give you $10. And he's like, well, I was hoping for a little bit more. Can you believe that? It's crazy. So that just goes to show everybody, look out in the used market for stuff. I mean, don't look out in the used market for stuff.
No, do not.
Don't bother. It's not worth
it's
your
not
time.
Out there. There's nothing to see
anything.
here. No.
Nope.
Well, I just gave away my rat secret. So that's one way to get cheap rats, because still, if you're like I don't know if Litterdale, Iowa has a Guitar Center. They probably don't. But if you're in Litterdale, Iowa, you might not know the difference between a modern rat and a vintage rat.
That is a very specific location you just chose.
I hope that it's a real town. It is. It is a real town. It's my go-to. It's my go-to town when I talk about
Nowhereville or
no. I just Litterdale, Iowa. Litterdale, yeah, Litterdale.
I love Litterdale.
I like Luterville.
I'm gonna go there someday, and they're gonna all be pissed off. Mad at
what are
me.
you doing around here, boy? All right, what do you have for number 4?
Okay, some sort of delay, but that's ever changing. I love the G Lab delay.
I'm not familiar with that.
I love that. It's I think it's actually called the SD1 or something like that, which is weird because Boss has an SD1.
Right.
But that's a great delay pedal. Karen got it for me for Valentine's Day, our first year together.
Uh-huh.
And so it's a special pedal because of that too, but it actually is a really, really, really good pedal.
And for reference, Karen.
Oh, Karen is my fiance, co-owner of Big Ear Pedals.
Okay, super.
And she gets me a pedal every Valentine's Day. And then sometimes...
That's awesome. I want that.
Other reasons.
Yeah, I never got a pedal
Tell
on
her
Valentine's
to talk to
Day.
mine.
My wife's like, "What's a pedal? You mean the pedal in the car?"
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very sweet and awesome and wonderful tradition.
I love that. I'm going to make that my tradition.
You got it
this
made,
year.
my man. Pretty good idea.
Oh,
Very,
man.
very lucky. But not just for that, but
So what is it about that pedal that you like so much?
That particular delay?
Yeah.
All the tone settings on the actual delay itself. I'm gonna go grab it real quick. It's like right behind me.
Sure.
So, okay. So sorry about that. So, I mean, if you, look it up, the smooth delay, G-Lab SD1.
All right.
First of all, it lights up in a way that is very attractive and not cheesy.
Oh, cool.
It's very like a subtle, like calm, cooling light. And I like it. It's very symmetrical. The pedal is totally symmetrical and in an interesting box. But you have a bass and treble control for your repeats, and not just like a tone, or not just like a single tone control, but a bass and treble control on your repeats. It's crazy.
Wow.
And then you also have like
that is really cool. Like if you think about that, it's not just repeating your actual signal, but you get to choose how you're. Oh, that's a really cool.
It's very, very cool pedal. And like I said, very attractive, and you don't see them a lot. When you do see them, it's usually on some pro board. I don't know why they're not more.
Definitely
well-known.
don't go look for those, everybody. Don't go looking for them.
Yeah, I don't even know. The foot switches are wild too. They have like a screw right in the middle that holds the foot switch. Like it's like this proprietary switch, and their knobs are their own knobs. Like the knobs, the feedback and the level knobs have rubber pads on top of them.
That is bizarre. We're looking at a picture of one, and it's a big box too.
It's
a pretty good sized box. Not quite line 6 DL4 box, but
no, it's
pretty good.
Yeah, but I just love it, and it's special to me too, and it sounds really, really good. So
that's neat. I like that.
Good pedal.
Yeah. It looks like some kind of like you said, it's like some kind of weird proggy proprietary thing that came out of like 92 or something.
Oh yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, right on for Karen.
People can really go wrong when they try to do stuff like that too. You know?
Yes, very.
They try to reinvent the wheel and just be like, "What is that?"
Yep. And at that point in time when that came out, I'm assuming that's probably when it's from. I'm guessing, but
I don't know when it came out. I've had this one for six years.
Yeah,
and I think it was not new at that. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years old at that point. So.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, pretty fun. Well, cool. That's solid, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
good for on the floor. Be sure, everyone, to check out. You'll probably see this on Instagram. You'll probably see us on Facebook, because those are the only 2 places that we post those 2 things. And what they do is, where do these posts go, Jared?
I'm writing your daughter a letter for my bracelet.
What?
A thank you letter.
Okay,
so
I'm gonna clap that
with me.
Tony, where do those posts go to?
Well, you could they go to the Facebook page,
Instagram.
It's on the Facebook page.
It's on the Facebook page. They also jump over to the Instagrammy.
Nope. Okay. How did you guys both get this wrong?
They go on Instagram all the time.
So you'll probably see this, the 4 on the floor. We post it on Instagram. We post on Facebook, and those lead directly to our webpage, theguitarknobs.com, at which you will find the 4 on the floor section and all of our 4 on the floors, not just the recent one, but all of them. So if you got a favorite pedal builder, a favorite guitar builder, a favorite amp builder that you know has been featured, or maybe that you don't know has been featured, you can find out all of their 4 must-have pedals.
All 150 of them?
Close to that.
Yeah.
And then you can actually click on the links to go purchase one, because the links are there.
Wow.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work on this business here, man.
That's yours.
Now, are you going to have a link to the Guitar Center used search for Proco Rat?
No, not Guitar Center. But so in fairness, when I can, I will try to link to the actual pedal builders site if they're selling them on their site, and if not, then they usually end up going to Reverb. But so there you go, everybody. Go check out those pedals.
Well, now I know where to look.
Now you know where to look. All right. Well, as we have been talking with Grant Wilson of Big Ear Pedals, let's get into finding out a little bit more about said pedals. Grant came on my radar pretty early into our podcast birthdom. I don't know what that means. Existence. And I hit him up pretty quick. And that was about a year and a half ago. And he's been a very busy dude. And we've been just trying to orchestrate when we can make this happen. We've met in person and we said, hey, we got to do this thing still. And our door is always open to friends of the podcast and others, new ones that we encounter. So we figured out, okay, there's going to be a stretch of time when we can do this. And we got him on the show today. So we're very happy to talk to him and learn more about big ear pedals. And it's got an interesting story. So let's dig into that, shall we? Grant, you have just recently moved to Nashville, right?
I 2 years ago. It feels real. I mean, it's hard to talk sometimes. It does feel very recent, but I know 2 years is not really that recent, but I still haven't hung all my art up. I'm like, moving sucks.
Well, maybe more appropriately, you've recently ditched the moniker Big Ear NYC, right?
Yes, we moved to Nashville, and I was stubborn, and I was going to keep the NYC. That was our name. I didn't want to change it. I didn't want to deal with 1,001.
Yeah, that's a big undertaking.
And then I kept dreading the conversation when I would meet people and talk to them. Be like, oh, our name is Bigger NYC, but we're actually based out of Nashville now. We moved, and it was just like, the classic commercial for like Old El Paso. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
New York City.
New York City.
Like it's
like
a
Pace Picante.
It's almost offensive to people, to be here but be like repping NYC.
Yeah,
and
I can see that. It begins to lose its context after a while. How has that? So, what prompted that move? That's a pretty big jump.
Moving to Nashville?
Yeah, Nashville's obviously a big music city, and that's where a lot of people are going. But
that was part of it. I wanted to be obviously somewhere where there was music, and I wanted to be somewhere where rent wasn't, $2,800 for a 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn.
It is ironic though, because Nashville is not exactly on the low end of things these days.
No, but like we live in Madison, Tennessee, which is right next to Nashville. We're literally like the next town right next to it, which is still pretty affordable. And that's cool, but there's just as much music. There's just as much.
Everybody's down there now, man.
There's just as much music. There's just so many people touring through this town and stopping here. It's an attraction. And so I'm able to do the same things. I'm able to meet up with people and, show pedals and do what I do.
So Grant, for our listeners who may not be familiar with all of the pedals that you offer, could you kind of give us a rundown of the pedals you offer and maybe give us a peek into some that might be coming down the pike?
And for whoever's listening, understand you're not going to go like through 35 pedals here. So take it easy.
I'm going to do 4.
Yes.
Yeah. Which actually is about to change. In fact, so you did kind of hint at something, but there is something in the works, and that I'm very, very stupidly excited about. But we have a pedal called the Loaf, which is a big, fat, woolly. It's a silicon fuzz, but that doesn't really matter. Doesn't mean much. Fuzzes. Well, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying the word itself doesn't matter. Yes. Like that's like I have almost 50 fuzzes in my collection. And a lot of them are silicon fuzzes, and then some of them are germanium fuzzes. But that doesn't mean like I might really love one and hate another one.
Yep,
there's no difference.
Well, no, there is, but
yeah.
The problem.
I didn't mean it like that, but
yes.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's not that. It's not that the word matters or that changes anything. But I do think if you listen to it and check it out, you'll be like, oh, that's good. Yeah, that's.
I would agree. Yeah. I've got some silicone ones that I absolutely love, and I got some germanium ones that.
And don't listen to me. I'm just clowning around.
Well, I just meant the Loaf in general, in particular.
Yeah,
it's just a good sounding pedal. In my opinion, it was our first pedal, and so I'm very, very much still. I like it a lot.
Awesome.
But also because it doesn't have all the sauce. It's not like a big muff. It's not like a fuzz face. It doesn't have. It's like a medium gain fuzz. So and
when did you release that? What year did you remember? What year that was?
Of 2013.
Okay.
So you've got the 5th anniversary edition coming out.
Well,
Yeah. So
Maybe.
yeah. So it's been 5 years. I think I shipped the first loaves on the 20th or 21st. I don't remember that.
yeah.
But anyway, so 2013, the end of 2013, beginning of 2014 is like when they hit people's mailboxes. Then we made the Frank and the woodcutter, and Frank is like a low gain drive kind of clean boost. The name is, what the pedal is. It's a very Frank pedal, and that was kind of the nobody gets that.
Can I be frank with you?
Yeah.
It's what the pedal is. I mean, that's
It's
just
just like, what does it do? It's gain.
and the loaf is loafy. And the woodcutter, while people think that it, they're like, oh, it's like a chainsaw, like it's like a distort. And I'm like, no, actually, we made basically a recreation of that pedal of mine that I talked about earlier.
Yep. The Porco rat.
Yeah, I will. I don't know. See how much I can really say about whenever I get into saying words when I'm directly relating to my pedal.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of avoid all that stuff.
I mean, I think it's fine. Like you're just paying homage to something.
Yeah. Well, we always just say that, like a Kalamazoo classic, or
Yeah.
on my website, I think I say that it, a pedal that is named after your favorite pizza loving rodent. If you remember the New York pizza rat. This one from my collection just sounds so good that we recreated it.
That's cool.
And it is slightly different than others, but not by much, but that's not really what it's about. It's literally a tribute. And so we named it after the guy that built that particular unit. The thing with those pedals is that they, like the builder, whoever built the pedal, their name would go on the inside of the pedal on like a little label across the inside, like across the pots. They would like print it on a dot matrix printer, like back in the day. And so there's all these different names of all the people that worked there over the years. And at some point, people started saying that the woodcutter variant just sounded better, which is like not possible really, unless you're some hippie that believes that like his spirit like got into it in some way. Like he was a really vibey dude, man. And like, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's like somehow his energy, like whatever. So I don't know, but people would say,
I can understand how that lore works its way into a lot of different things. Paint, certainly, pickups, I mean, necks, we live on that stuff. It's, the wizardry.
So, I mean, you're going to find an old rat that sounds really good or really bad, depending on who made it. And it has nothing to do with who made it. If you'll get that one with that little 1% more that you're like, oh my goodness, this is.
It's just like a guitar.
With mine, it almost sounds like there's like a slight like clean blend, and that changes everything. Everything. You can have all the gain all the way up, but you still hear everything. Yeah,
I can totally understand why that would be appealing in a rat. I have a rat, and it is sort of like rat on, rat off. And
it's just nice to have this little bit so that even the chunkiest chord is all there and you hear everything, you hear every note, and it's fairly uncommon in that type of pedal. So that's what that pedal is. And we named it the woodcutter because mine was named after that guy. I actually found out that the woodcutter has passed away many years ago, like 10, 12 years ago. So it's a tribute pedal. It's got the reverse filter control, which we call tone. Which people have asked us about that. It's still a filter knob, but it's called tone because I'm all about symmetry, and gain has 4 letters and tone has 4 letters. Filter does not.
So then you have
and then L is our most recent, I guess, pedal. That's like a slightly modulated reverb.
Explain slightly modulated.
Well, it's not like a modulated reverb like you would think, like 80s. Like an RV5 or whatever is it? The Boss RV5 modulated reverb, which is like amazing, but it's not that type of modulation. It's more like makes you feel like a buoy in the ocean, like just like a little, like you're just like floating, like just a little up and down motion.
I feel like Christopher Cross is gonna like come walking in our
sailing takes me away.
But truthfully, the thing is that the belt and brick, which is what the pedal is based on, or uses to make the reverb, inherently has some modulation. Mm-hmm. And so like you can try to filter it as best you can to like not hear the modulation, or you can filter it in such a way that you do hear the modulation, and you're always going to hear the modulation. You'll never get it out. But the whole thing is like, well, if it's there, then it's a feature and it's not a problem, because if you don't tell people, if you were just like, oh, it's just a reverb, and you filtered it as best as you could and you just call it a reverb, you're going to get one email out of every 6 customers or 7 customers like, hey, the tails like start to like warble and go out of tune a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a modulated reverb.
I like
it's a
that.
slightly modulated reverb, and it's worked in to be part of, like, that's an element that
A very non-symmetrical sound in a very symmetrical offering.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So it's not a. It's
I like
a,
that.
It's
Little
a feature.
warble on it. And so those 4 pedals have really been, at least the first 3 have been the foundation of Big Ear for some time.
Yeah, I've been guilty. I'm the reason I'm not talking about, there was a pedal called Chaka and there was a pedal called More.
Mm-hmm.
More might make like a comeback in a different form factor.
Mm-hmm.
But Chaka's dead, and I never made an announcement about it. I just pulled it from the site, and that's over. And I still have a bunch of enclosures, and I might build them up and just throw them on reverb later. But like as close out, whatever, some sort of, I don't know, whatever.
Is Chaka referring to the character from Land of the Lost? Please tell me it is. Oh
no, it's actually, well, in a roundabout way, yes, but no, it's named after a famous LA graffiti artist. Who got his name from the character from Land of the Lost.
Comes full circle.
I used to love that show. Oh.
Yeah. And L, our reverb pedal, is also named after a Brooklyn graffiti artist she's rad. She's this crazy chick that like climbs like, 6-story buildings and tags the sides of them, that like, it's like, I would be so scared to even look at. I like when an airplane flies over when you're driving, like I almost wreck the car every single time. I get so like,
stop doing that.
Like heights are, well, I can't, sometimes they just go flying places, they're airplanes. But so Elle's really cool. And so mad respect to her
That's cool.
for being in that world and doing what she does. And Chaka, if you ever, I'm sure you've seen the music video for Smells Like Teen Spirit. Dave Grohl's drum head, he spray painted Chaka on his drum head. And as a kid, I always thought, like at first I wondered what it was. And then I thought maybe it's like, that's the type of drums he was using.
Mm-hmm.
Chaka drums. And so, there was probably a minute where I was like, I want Chaka drums, and then years later, I found out that he was commemorating this dude who was this like legend in LA, like the punk rock scene at that time. Because, and I know some people are going to think this is offensive, but I don't know. I lived in New York for 10 years and I started to really like street art and just kind of like the history around how it started and what it was. But in LA, this kid, he was like 19 years old. And so just some young punk kid, and he did like $1.5 million worth of damage to like city property.
Oh, geez.
Which is really punk rock. But he was tagging his name, and they arrested him and basically gave him the biggest slap on the wrist in the history of the world. They were like, okay, we're giving you, 700 hours of community service. We could put you in jail for like a long time, but you're a kid. We're going to be cool, give you community service. You're going to clean up your graffiti. And if we ever catch you tagging again, you were going straight to jail.
Yep.
And so in the elevator on the way down, he tagged the elevator out, leaving the courtroom. And so they threw him in jail. And so that's who I am, man. Like, buck the system. Yeah. And so I just thought, I'm going to name a pedal after Chaka. I'm going to give him a pedal. And so we did. But I never pushed it.
What was the basis of the pedal?
It's like an octave up fuzz. It's a fuzz. It's like they're separated, so you can have a fuzz by itself or an octave up fuzz. But I never pushed it. I don't even think we ever ourselves made a demo of it, because Gearman Dude made a demo, and then I was like, that's good enough. And it wasn't my, I don't know, it wasn't my main area of interest. So
we have new interests.
Yeah, and yes, I do.
And are you going to share anything about those new interests, or are you going to keep that a secret?
I can tell you some things about it, and I'm very, very excited to say, because I wasn't sure where we stood when I just did the Simon the Magpie podcast, and and I wasn't sure where I was with the designer at the time. We were still working things out, but I can say now officially that we're working with Neil Graham from Dr. Scientist. He is doing the digital design for our next pedal, and Neil is awesome and has been. I just really like. I've never met him in real life.
Yep.
In real life, I mean, we chat on Instagram, and we're in a forum together, like a Discord group.
Digital life.
Yeah. So, but I just really like the guy just from the conversation
We're
we
in
had.
digital life right now, not in real life.
And he was into the idea, and it's literally in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be hearing my first samples of this pedal.
Excellent.
And it's our first digital pedal. It's like full, like FV1, entering that world, but it's still very much a big ear pedal. It's still very user friendly, very simple and easy, while being fairly complex at the same time. If that makes any sense. But
I gotcha.
It's simple and easy to use.
Excellent.
Like I like that. I like
Well,
you can turn a knob and
when this
you can,
actually comes out, this will come out in a couple weeks. So actually, if you're listening to it, we will have recorded it a few weeks back, and so you will be even closer to maybe the release of what this pedal may be. So everybody, keep your shirts and shorts and all your clothing items on in anticipation for this pedal release.
You were talking about. Or we were talking about the lashing thing earlier.
Yeah.
It's interesting because this is our first pedal where we every pedal has just a standard latching foot switch because they're overdrive distortion fuzz pedals. Not much else to do with the foot switch. This pedal, we are going to be using a foot switch that is a clicking foot switch, but it's actually a momentary switch. So it clicks, but you can hold it down and it will have a secondary function. So we've never done that before. And the fun thing about that is the secondary function, I'm letting Neil design it.
That's fun.
I'm calling it the Neil mode. And I just told him, hey, like, I thought this would be the idea hit me. I was like, why don't you run with the switching system and make a secondary function that you like?
That's
put
cool.
Put your fingerprint in it,
I got a big smile on my face because I'm always telling the guys, I'm like, I want more stuff with momentary switches on it, and I like that. Yeah. I like that. I'm excited to hear what this ultimately is. So you have to keep us informed.
Yeah.
Now you were talking about how. Okay, so I'm going to go to a post that you just recently did, in which you shared that I think you mentioned for the first time you had done the full build on the was it the loaf?
Yes.
So it was like after all this time, you finally built your first loaf, and I had to read that a couple times, and I was like, wow. Okay, I said wow for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I think that there are more people that are building that kind of keep the sort of collaborative builds or designed by someone else builds or built somewhere else builds. They kind of keep that to themselves, and you just like threw that out there.
Because that's a bunch of bull crap. I edited myself there for you because I care about you, and also because people have like really crazy, stupid egos.
Yeah, I appreciated that because I was like, wow. Like I said, most people aren't going to throw that out there, especially after several years. You've been established for a while, so
that's because that's what I was good at, and so that's what I did. At the time I wasn't even interested in making pedals. Initially I was. I like tried. And I started trying to learn everything I could and like watch every YouTube video that I could when I first started. And I was like, man, I want a company tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I want to be selling pedals tomorrow. I want to be making a great product. And so I hired people to do that.
Yeah. Well, because my thing that I wanted to point out there was that if you think about a lot of products that we have, like you can design a great car, but not necessarily know how to
absolutely
design the engine for it, or Yeah, maybe that's a good example.
No, like
maybe it's a bad example, but
Richard Branson, he's not mixing records.
right.
He's not designing jet engines. He's not like he's flying around the earth in a hot air balloon and leaving that stuff up to people that he trusts that know that they're
passion
good
for it and wanted to be involved in it. And I think, especially right now, man, like the boutique industry it's just on fire. And that was the whole reason that we created this podcast a couple of years ago. It was like, we got to capture this, right? So for those people who are out there who really truly want to be involved in a deeper way, sometimes it's got to feel daunting. I mean, it does for me. I've talked about this with the guys right here. I'm like, man, I would really love to put out some kind of product or something because I love this stuff, but I'm not electronically
a maker of things, but that doesn't matter. If you have ears and you like sounds and you can critique and you can say, I want these, I want this form factor. I want these features. I want it to sound like this and do this.
Yeah.
And then they give you a prototype and you say, you got close, but I need more high end. I need more low end. I need less gain, more gain, blah, 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 whatever. And then it's the same thing as like, if you want to start a sneaker company or like whatever, you go find someone that makes sneakers already.
You don't have to be a cobbler.
And say, hey, you already make shoes. Make me shoes, put my name on it.
Well, and if you take that even a step further, you got somebody like Eastwood Guitars, you got Pure Salem Guitars, you got Reverend Guitars. They're not sitting in the shed with shavings all over themselves.
Not at all.
Pounding out every single guitar by hand. If you have the talent, like
I think they're all made in the same factory.
They might be, but even then, they're still very individual guitars. I mean, they're completely unique.
Well, I know Rick from Pure Salem, and I know that he actually
they set them up. Yeah, they do take the time to set them up.
The way he'll design though is like he'll be like, I found this like vintage guitar that I really like, and I like these appointments of it. I like this pickguard shape, but but the body maybe change here, there, change whatever.
Yep.
But yet I really like these pickups from this other guitar.
Yep.
Or I like the positioning of them, or I like whatever. And so he'll like take and send like multiple images or whatever, and like and they make these really amazing amalgamations just from his brain. Like he's seeing like if we added this and this and this and this, and then the artist or whatever will send him back like, here is all those things matched together, and he makes these cool guitars. And like believe it or not, my favorite guitar that I own I have 21 guitars, the one I play the most is my Pure Salem La Flaca.
I love that guitar. I played that. Did you is that the one that did you bring that to the?
I had it at NAMM.
I played that. I played
the black one with the big thing.
I love that thing.
That thing is so good. It's such a good guitar.
It's so funny because when we were sitting there, I talked to Rick about this when we had him on the show, and I said when I got there, I was playing all these guitars, and then I got to the La Flaca, and I did not want to put that guitar down, and that was your guitar.
Well, okay, so. It is, I will say, arguably, it was the best setup one because I had Dave Johnson from Scale Model Guitars in Nashville set that one up, and he's just incredible. So if you don't know Scale Model Guitars, not that the other ones aren't, the other ones played really good. They're great guitars, but Dave makes a great guitar. Like just play like, holy moly, what is going on here? Dave is a local legend. Awesome. Scale Model Guitars, so you check them out definitely. He's been doing a really cool series where he's like doing step through like multi like long form posts where he like steps you through guitar builds that he's working on.
You know who else has done an exemplary job of doing that is Honey Tea, who we also had on. That's how actually I got really involved in his work. You take it from the very beginning to very end. It's great. It's a story, and it's not just a throwaway post.
No, it's amazing. I actually texted Dave the other day just to be like, dude, I'm loving this.
Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah.
Well, so anyways, back to the big point, which was just, we talk about this all the time. Every single builder that does actually know how to create either guitars or electronics starts out and they say, I just wanted to do it. I didn't know if I could do it, and I did it. And we always celebrate that. But then there's lots of other people who are like, I would love to do that. I have ideas. I'm very good with sound. I know what I want. I'm good with the, I like the aesthetics. I just want to be involved. I want to create something.
Yeah.
But yet may not have an electronics engineering degree. Well, now what do you do, right? So it's just to say that here is a successful pedal manufacturer, builder, brand, whatever you want to call yourself, Big Ear, who basically just said, hey, I've left that to somebody who actually can do this really well so that I can get a good product out there.
Yeah, because I like selling things too. I mean, and again, that's like I said, it's like I was in a band. I had to sell that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can sell your band, holy crap. You know what I mean? There's so many bands and nobody cares about your band, man.
Yep.
It's like, hey, would you like my Facebook page? Like nobody cares about your band. And and I for years I was selling a band and like coming up with like, clever like angles and marketing, just like trying to do things a little different and trying to, the end goal was make that project successful. Whatever I'm doing, it has to succeed. I don't want to, no one else is going to hire me anyway. I can't work anywhere else but for me. So it has to work.
Yeah. So the big question is,
so I wasn't going to screw around. You know what I mean? That was, I guess why.
No, that totally makes sense. I think that's great. And I really like that we get to hear that part of the story.
Yeah. So
are you going to end up selling that first pedal?
I'm sending it to my friend Andrew Horowitz. He has the very first, he has the number 3 loaf, which is, I have number 1 and number 2. And then he has number 3. So it's the first that's out in the population.
That's cool. That's cool.
And so he has that. He has been a great friend of mine. He has helped us out so many different ways since the beginning and just been huge support and one of my closest friends. So I'm sending that to him so that way he has both of the firsts.
That's awesome. What a thoughtful gift.
But I actually, it's not my first pedal. I've been building pedals since January. And then I've actually been... it's funny. I just put up a post. I just put an Instagram story up a little bit ago where I tagged you guys and said podcasting with you guys and hardcore repping 1981 inventions because I'm wearing his sweatshirt and I'm also using his mouse pad. And I've been building PCBs for him just over the past month and really loving that.
Yeah.
I just getting into like this zen state of just like
it totally is
soldering for 8 hours straight. And like, it is fun. Well, I can listen to the same 3 records on repeat. And I know like every lyric to the second to last Guster album.
Well, that's fun.
So, and then I've built like several kit builds and things and I've given those to some friends.
I think that's where a lot of us are, though. Like, if you that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm like, man, I'd really love to do this a little bit more in some capacity, but I can't go start. I can't necessarily just go, well, I'm going to build a whole line of pedals. I just don't have that. Our friend Mike Tremblay from Red House, like he sits there day and night and goes, dude, bro, I figured out this, and I was like, man, that's amazing that you can do that.
Not everybody has to do what he's doing though either, because look at. I mean, my goodness, the what is it? The King of Tone has like a year-long wait list.
Yeah. And
that's like 2 blues breakers and a pedal. It's like an overdrive,
Yeah.
And so
rough life there.
You can go crazy and you can try to like write this whole new thing. And what Mike's doing is awesome. Those pedals are crazy.
Yeah.
But you can also be really successful with a good overdrive or fuzz if you do it correctly and you are smart about running your business.
Yeah.
I don't like it was a weird thing whenever I made that post that you talked about. I was talking to a friend that I had sent that post to proofread it. I sent it to him and he was like, man, do you really want to say that before January you'd never build a pedal?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I want to say that. Like, I think that's awesome. And he kind of tried to convince me otherwise. And then I talked to Karen about it and she's like, hey, if that's what you wrote, if that's what you feel good about, then do that. So yeah, like I said, I've had my hands in, so many pedals. It's crazy, but I just never was the one building them. And then the reason I had to, this is what I wanted that I felt like I had left out. I've been working with Chuck from Chuck Pedals for the past 2+ years, almost 3 years, and he's been amazing. And we love Chuck. And
he's out in California, right?
He's in Anaheim, and that's been one of the biggest problems.
It's my old hood.
It's just the shipping thing, the mailing thing, having stuff done offsite. Ordering gets crazy. You never know. Like inventory gets, I should be more aware of what's happening, but things,
That gets a little, crazy.
There's so much going on. And when you're not connected to it, you lose time. And then you're so ready for something. Then you're like, oh shoot, we don't have this. And then you lose more time. And then stuff will get there. And Chuck also, he builds a lot of pedals works for a couple people. And he also is a partner at a recording studio and also does live sound. So he's a very busy guy. And so, he has the time allotted for Big Ear, and then we are lacking one part or something. Our enclosures were screwed up and had to get sent back. And whenever they send them back, he was not able to build for several weeks because of his other jobs.
Right.
And so time, I was losing my mind. And so we decided to move everything to Nashville, and we were trying to figure out, we've had a handful of people have emailed us, since we moved here that we're seeking employment. And I saved all the emails, but I was like, that we don't do anything here other than, well, that's not true. We don't build the actual pedals. We do, finish them here and do all packing, shipping, run the business. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do. But now that we finally are building, I was like, I'm going to, reach out to a couple of these people, but I need to know everything first and know everything, how everything works. And so I'm literally teaching myself every single process. And now I'm doing all the ordering too, which Chuck did some of the ordering for some of the parts and did the PCB ordering. So there's just so many things I have to learn now, but it's, oh my goodness, I've never felt so good about something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. And like, I'm learning like a new thing, or I'm not learning it. I've already learned it. What I'm doing is getting faster at it. Cause I'm still slow. Yeah. I'm really meticulous and really anal.
Skills.
Yeah, I got to get faster. That's my thing, because I have a lot of orders right now, and I'm really slow. And I will get faster.
All right, so everybody, be patient if you have ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks so much for sharing that whole story with us. It was great to finally hear all of that. I knew that you had an interesting one bottled up, waiting to get out. So. We are going to move to our
Would You Rather.
All right.
Thank you very, very much. All right. This week's Would You Rather. It's kind of simple. It's a very simple one. So you're at your gig and you realize you forgot one of your guitars that you usually have tuned a half step higher than usual.
Oh, why would you even bother doing that? Just play it straight, baby.
Would you rather? You've got your Todd Novak signature Stratocaster. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Are you going to use your capo, or are you going to actually take the time to tune it a half step up?
Okay. Tony Baloney, what are you doing?
So let's just this comes out of It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll.
Okay.
And everybody writes it out in A. Which it is. However, when they recorded it, especially with the bagpipes apparently can't play in the key of A.
Right.
So everything has been transposed up a half step.
That's a good reason.
That's great.
That's the reason.
Solid.
That's a solid reason. So
okay.
This was Tony's Would You Rather, by the way.
It is mine, by the way.
All right.
Because it is. I think it lends. Do you like the use of a capo? The mechanical capo, especially on electric guitar. I mean, or do you spend, as Jared said, the extra time to tune it up?
Okay, good. That's a great question. So answer it.
I'm going to use the capo.
Okay,
only because I'm lazy.
Okay,
and in some cases it actually works out better. Although the problem I run into with capos, if you're not playing just first position chords, the dots start getting mixed up.
Dreadful.
Show me the dots.
Yeah.
Kind of got to play by ear in that case.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I'll just play cowboy chords and
there you go.
Stay in the first position.
Giddy up. Jared?
I am going to spend a little time, have the lead singer tell a few jokes, and I'm going to tune that guitar up.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. And my reasoning is, what if the capo, it's got a heavy pinch and it it makes the strings
Tweaks
go out
it
of tune. Yeah,
or not enough pinch, and then you get to buzz. And
yeah, one or the other. So I'm gonna go the safe way. Take a little time. And
Okay.
tune it up.
Grant, what are you doing?
Taking a pitch shifter and turn it on latching and turn it up.
There it is, right there.
That is not an option.
I'm the pedal guy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a problem with capos? I heard someone go, like, what's wrong with capos?
Some people, I think, at least on the electric side, people feel that that's like a crutch or something. I don't know.
Well, in this situation, I don't think it is. I think if you're like one of those like the people that play the acoustic guitar and they like hit it and slap it and stuff and like it's all like open tuned and like they use a capo and that's a cheating device because they know like two like chord shapes and then they like have it's tuned to whatever chord.
Thank
and
you
they
for saying that.
Yes.
that's cheating. But I think if it's just like I need to be a half step higher and I have like 13 seconds to do it, throw a capo on there, man. If you do have a lead singer that's funny, then cool. But if your lead singer is like my ex-lead singer, he was just an awkward, weird dude that would stand there and say stuff and people would be like, all right, play music, man.
Yep.
Well, and speaking of another trick, we had talked about me restringing a Rick 12 string. A lot of studio guys that use Rick 12s actually tune down a half step and capo on the first fret. And for some reason, that change in scale length works much better with a Rick 12.
Wow.
Interesting.
I'll remember that time when I'm never recording with a 12-string Rick.
I use a capo. I use a capo all the time. Side note or side whatever. I use a capo when I'm restringing my La Flaca because it has a Bigsby on it. And so I don't know if you know that trick, but like you get the string,
lock
put
them
the
in.
string on, get it to tension, lock it with a capo. Yep. Oh man, saved my life when I learned that.
Yep. I am going to also go with the capo, and for what it's worth, two of my favorite guitar players of all time, Noel Gallagher and Johnny Marr, both are very big friends of the capo. So I'm going with that, and then I'm going to smash that Stratocaster right after I finish playing. All right.
Todd Novak signature Strat.
Yeah.
Hey, just because you just said what you just said, I'm throwing it back to the new thing that we're coming out with. You're going to love it, Todd.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this. You got me. I'm tickled now. Woo.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
you'll know why then later. But
Okay, so we got a couple things we're going to wrap up with. First of all, I want to say humongous thanks to Grant for doing this.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Grant, where can people find you?
who's looking for me?
I want to buy a pedal.
Some guy from New York.
Want a pedal?
Oh man, Big Ear Pedals. Pretty much anywhere, Big Ear Pedals.
Okay.
You know, our Facebook is still Big Ear NYC because I can't get it changed. I'm trying to get it changed. If I can't get it changed, I'm just going to have to start a new one, and that one will be an archive page, or maybe I can link them, but I'm not sure what's going on there. They keep denying my my appeals to change the name, because they keep telling me that my page is associated with the city, and therefore I cannot take the city out of my name. They think it has something. They think I was like a New York fan page.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it's like a computer writing the response. It's not a person. I just need them to. If you work at Facebook, please hit me up.
Well, I don't, but
I mean, if you're listening to the podcast and you are you're gainfully employed at Facebook, and I don't know how to. So if you've been, you guys made it this far. If you want a pedal, bigearpedals.com. If you go there and if you type knobs 15 as the discount code section, you'll get 15% off. Because I
love it.
Hanging out with us today.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
This is, I'm sure someone might listen to this in like 2021 and try. So I will say that will work.
We'll say 30 days from the date of publication.
There you go.
Yes, there's your new business manager.
There it is.
Thank you.
Oh,
30
right.
days from the launch of this podcast. So when you're hearing this, when it launches, And if you're like, well, when did it launch? You go to the website and it'll tell you when to launch, or you'll know because it doesn't work any longer on Grant's website. So
if it doesn't work, and just shoot us an email. We'll see what happens.
there you go. Look at that customer service all through and through.
Excellent.
So thank you so much for doing that. We really do appreciate that. It means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to our audience knowing that you are trying to connect with them in that way and give them a break and get a pedal under their feet, baby.
Super cool, yeah.
Let's see here. Tony, we got a couple of people we need to thank real quick.
There's a bunch of people we have to thank. At
Who
this
are they?
point,
There are several.
Well, at this point in our show, we like to thank our executive producers.
Yes.
And you may be asking yourself, how can I become an executive producer?
I know how.
How?
Well, what you do is you go to Patreon,
Patreon.com//
the Guitar Knobs.
the Guitar Knobs.
And at that level, you go into there, they says, oh, you can be a sponsor,
Yeah.
a patron, if
$1,
you will.
$5, $10
or more.
or more.
You make the call.
Yes.
That's right.
But in addition to all of the great prize packages that you get for becoming a patron,
Mm-hmm.
you can, at the executive producer level, Jared,
Yeah, you get your name read on the thing.
That's right.
and that's a trademarked thing, by the way.
That's right.
Get your name read on the
Yep.
thing. Trademark.
Yep.
Jared, Brandon,
That was the first Mythos pedals. The first time I said that, by the way, everybody.
Mythos.
Yes.
Mythos pedals.
He'll be joining us again soon.
Okay. So without
Mythos,
further,
can I say something about Mythos
Sure,
pedals?
absolutely.
I love that guy. I might even be heading to his house here as soon as this is over.
No kidding. Tell him we said hi.
I love Zach, and he has been a huge help just with me figuring out what the heck I'm doing. Just man, Mythos
Mjolnir.
pedals, man.
Mjolnir.
Yeah.
The owner.
I still can't say that thing. I have no idea.
Mjolnir.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that whatever, what's it called? Social proof. Like if you need social proof, like if you were thinking about getting something from Zach, do it. Go get a Mythos pedal. That guy's amazing.
There you go.
I
Amen,
like
brother.
Zach a lot.
Yep.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I would like to read this list of executive producers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with Tom Barazin, Martin Cliff, David Wolfson, Matt Brammer, Carlos Mancha, Pete Marshall, Robin Smith, John Daly, Oliver Gonzalez, Sean S., Chris Kearney, John Anglin, Robert Marfleet, Darren Gregory, Gary Goodman and Son Brackett, Zach J. Wright, Doug Christ, Michael Van Zant, Brad Partridge, Doug Gann, Corey Nigro, Ken Sayers, and Jonathan Jerusik.
My man.
Thank you, one and all. Without you, this would not be possible.
Truly, truly, truly.
Thank you.
I would encourage you, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, and I'm going to get serious here for just 1 second. We put a lot of work into the show, you guys. A lot of time and effort goes into bringing you the best show we possibly can.
More so Todd, actually.
If you can, going into the new year, if at all possible, at bare minimum, just say, you know what, I can give you guys $1 a month. It will help us out so tremendously because like I said, there's a lot of time, there's a lot of money that goes into this, and it would just really help us. So we greatly appreciate all those who do contribute at all levels, and we are thankful for you. Tony, where can people find you?
Well, let's just say you need a custom pick guard. I'm changing pickups. I want to put some sort of crazy D'Armond pickup into a Telecaster or whatever.
Why not?
Whatever. Go over to pickguardian.com.
Okay.
That's probably the best place.
Great. Jared?
Well,
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Can I just finish?
I wish I would have known you last year, man.
Well,
He's
You
got
know me
21
now.
guitars. I think you got some pick guards.
I think you need some guards. So you can contact me through the website or go to info@pickguardian.com. If you want to see some of the projects I've been working on, go over to Instagram, and that's at pickguardian and the number 1.
Mm-hmm. Jared.
I tell you what, if you guys need some new or old looking pickups that are new, give me a shout.
Wait.
Brandon Wound Pickups.
If you want some new or old looking pickups that are new.
That's right.
Brilliant. Okay, got it.
go to BrandonWoundPickups.com. I've got them all, man. Give
Yep.
me a shout out.
They sound absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. I'm on Instagram and I'm posting cool stuff.
Handmade stuff.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, you can send me a note at Todd or to Todd at theguitarknobs.com. That's the old email thing. You can also drop me a DM on Instagram. Our Instagram game is in effect, and we are always thrilled to hear from you, and we'll do our best to get back to you. We've got a lot coming for you in the new year. We're very excited about. Until then, thank you, Grant Wilson from Big Ear Pedals.
Dude, thank you, guys. Thank you, all of you guys. And dude, seriously, sorry it was took so darn long to make this happen.
No worries, man.
It was a pleasure.
Yes. Everybody else, have a great guitar week and subscribe.
Yeah.
That is a big cockroach in that box. Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.